Hello everybody, welcome to Chinese Pod. I'm Joy.
And I'm Joe.
Today we're going to talk about Chengyu with the word 手, that's hands, and 脚, that's feet. So before in our series about numbers, we did mention, do you remember what that one was?
Oh yeah, you mean the one with 7s and 8, right?
Yes.
Like we had 7 hands and 8 feet.
Exactly. That was 比手画脚. And that just means everybody's doing everything at once and it's kind of a mess. So in today's 手 and 脚 idioms, they're going to be about people doing things and getting busy as well. Let's check it out. Our first Chengyu is very visual. It goes 比手画脚.
Okay, the first word here is 比, which Chinese learners or beginners probably know from the word 比较, which means to compare something. And what you do when you compare is normally you use your hands, right? So I think 比 alone can mean something like gesticulate, to make gestures.
Ah, yes. 比, that's to point out something with your hands, to make gestures. Now, 比手 is using your hands to make gestures. How about the next word, 画?
画 would be to paint something normally, like draw or paint. So it's a usage of your hand as well.
In the final word, the body part is going to be your feet. So it kind of sounds like you're using your feet to draw.
Oh, you mean like this?
Yes.
Can you guess what I'm writing? It's actually for the audience already.
B.
Yes.
So Joe is using his feet to 比手画脚, and that just means you're basically gesticulating. It doesn't have to mean you're using your feet. Okay, for instance, a lot of foreigners coming over to China don't really speak that much Chinese. And in some parts of China, people don't really speak English at all.
I actually have a friend who came to China, like he spent traveling like 6 weeks in China, but he doesn't speak like a good English, no Chinese at all, so he was only using his hands and maybe sometimes his feet as well to communicate.
Did he survive?
Yeah, he managed quite well.
Wow. 他不会说中文，但是他会比手画脚.
So my friend was not able to speak Chinese, but he was able to use his gestures.
Smart. Do that everywhere.
Yeah.
Although you have to be careful because in some countries, gestures can be offensive if you don't know the local meaning.
Make sure to search that up before.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. So we can also say if you don't know how to speak a language, that's okay. Just use gestures. That goes, 不知道怎么说，没关系。你可以比手画脚。
So the last here was you can use your hands and feet.
Yeah, even though you don't speak the language, it's fine. Okay, now one more sentence for you.
Okay.
And this time it's used in a bit of a different context.
Okay.
我们来玩比手画脚.
To play making gestures?
It's a game.
Oh, you mean, what is it? Is it called charade, right?
Yes, charades. So the game is 比手画脚. This is something that I think we do as kids everywhere, no matter the culture, right?
Yeah. And I just did it with my feet.
Okay, so the next Chengyu with 手 and 脚 goes like this. 毛手毛脚.
Okay, so now we have, like, mao is hair, right? So it's hairy hands and hairy feet. That sounds a little bit, I wouldn't say gross, but interesting.
Interesting. Do you think it's describing something positive or negative about a person?
Probably more negative.
Yeah, so there are two different meanings for this Chengyu, and both are negative.
Okay.
So I'll give you the first one. The first one is when you do something that's very furry, it just means that this work isn't very clear-cut or well done.
Ah, okay. Like a fur can sometimes be, I don't know.
Like fuzzy.
It's not defined. It's fuzzy. Like it doesn't have clear edges or something. It's
like fuzzy thoughts, fuzzy work, fuzzy quality.
Okay.
So I could say this person isn't very hardworking, and the work he produces is very fuzzy, and I can use 毛手毛脚 to describe him.
Oh, like for example, like a colleague at work or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
他做事毛手毛脚，不认真。
Ah, okay. So 做事 is to do things, probably work or something, and then combined with our Chengyu here, it means like to do something carelessly or fuzzily.
Yeah.
And then you said he's not hardworking, not serious about his work, which would be 不认真. Okay, like a new colleague, for example, right?
Yeah, so for instance, if I wanted to say this new colleague kind of doesn't really put in the work, I can say 新同事总是毛手毛脚，老板不喜欢他。
Ah, okay, so he does always a bad work, like a fuzzy work, and then your boss doesn't like him.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely. You mentioned something before of a second bad meaning for this Chengyu, right?
Yeah, so actually this sentence can be applied to both meanings.
Okay.
So we talked about this colleague that does fuzzy work, right? And the second meaning for 毛手毛脚 is his behavior toward others in the way that he's creeping on them by touching them.
Okay, so that's definitely followed by a lawsuit, and he definitely got fired then, right?
Yes.
So you mean mao, because it's hair, right? And like the feeling when somebody maybe touches you, just a little bit of like this, ooh,
Yeah.
shivery, tickly, uncomfortable.
Yeah, exactly. Like shivers up your spine because you know it's not like a friendly touch, but it's kind of a creepy one.
Okay, so with this Cheng, you can either describe someone who is not very hardworking, who like makes a lot of mistake in terms of fuzzy work attitude, or someone who is really creeping on you.
Yeah.
And probably, yeah, that's...
So of course check the context. So this colleague is not good in many ways. Okay, I'll give you another sentence.
Okay.
不要对女生毛手毛脚，没礼貌。
Okay, so this is the creepy version again, right? So don't do that to any girls. Don't do that to girls. It is not polite.
Okay, the next 成语 I have goes like this. 动手动脚。
Okay, 动 is movement or to move something. So I'm now moving my hands and feet. So maybe some exercise or to get something started or something.
Oh, that's a good guess. But actually, this 成语 has quite a negative meaning.
Okay.
We're not only moving, this is more moving aggressively or moving against someone's wishes.
Okay, so in what situation would you find this maybe?
For example, if I'm having a debate with somebody and it gets a little bit heated and then someone grabs me. Okay, I might say, 别动手动脚，我觉得不舒服。
So please don't get violent. Don't like
Don't get
push me.
physical.
Don't get physical. I don't think like I'm not comfortable with this.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's kind of a violent, pushy, aggressive behavior.
Yeah.
And I'm using is it like hitting as well sometimes?
It could be.
So for instance, in China, what I sometimes see when people have smaller accidents, they maybe start like having a heated debate and then they start actually fighting each other on the street. Would you use this here as well?
A car accident?
Yeah, a smaller car accident.
Yeah, so if there's like road rage going on, it's really common. But usually somebody would jump in and be the voice of reason. Maybe a third party would see these two people fighting and hopefully would say, 别动手动脚，好好说话.
So don't get violent, don't get physical, like talk about it.
Yes. Okay, now I have another example for you, and the level of seriousness of this physicality becomes greater with this example.
Okay.
Okay. It goes, 他一生气就动手动脚.
So somebody who is like he just gets a little bit of mad and then he starts to get aggressive.
Yes.
That sounds like very serious, like domestic violence kind of serious.
Could be, or like smashing chairs or something really angry. Here we have the grammar point 一 and then 生气就. How would you define that?
The this 一 something something 就 is like you do something for a very short time and you immediately start something else. Like this, you do it once and immediately start something else. So like here's it, once he's angry, he immediately starts getting aggressive.
This is a cause and effect thing. So this is a not super direct way of saying that this person loses control of himself whenever he gets angry. So today we talked about 3 成语 related to 手 and 脚.
The first one we had was actually very good advice whenever you go abroad to use your hands and maybe even your feet to aid you communicating.
To gesticulate, that's 比手画脚.
Which can sometimes even mean charade, right?
Yes, I can say 玩比手画脚.
And the next 2 ones were things that you should never do. So we had the first 成语 that related to doing something carelessly or even groping.
Oh, 毛手毛脚.
And then we had another one that was a little bit more aggressive and could mean to hit somebody or to get physical.
动手动脚. So these are things that you should not do. But what you can do is you can make some sentences, or if you know any other idioms with 手 or 脚, feel free to leave them down below. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Joy.
And I'm Joe.
下次见.
Bye bye.
Chinese pod.